Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have episode 7 of Evolve that just aired the other day. Um, we're gonna review the card. It was an interesting one to say the least. I think I think 4 is the match. I think that is the thing. 4 matches, no more, no less, because too much seems to be just kind of crazy, and 3 doesn't seem to work out very well because they just fill it in. So I think 4 is the call, and it was a pretty solid show. First up, we had Thrill London versus Harlem Lewis. This was probably the worst match of the night. It was kind of a squash match, which, like, man, Thrill's been here twice now and just absolutely got demolished. I guess they're like building up Harlem Lewis again. I just like don't really understand having squash matches in this, but I mean, I guess it's what they're going for. I think overall, like, it kind of just buries somebody who gets squashed twice in that type of way. I'll put it as a C. I guess it was okay for the short amount of time it was, but I feel like they could have definitely done something else. Next up, then we had a six-man tag match, which was Gallus, which is Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, and Wolfgang against Cappuccino Jones, Jack Cartwheel, and Oasis. I forgot what his first name is. God, what is his first name? I don't know. He definitely is the odd one out of those three because Cartwheel and Cappuccino Jones, they would be S tier in this match. Gallus did pretty decent themselves. The match itself kind of felt a little bit odd because like I felt like the chemistry on the babyface team, like Cartwheel and Cappuccino Jones have tagged together and done matches together, so they seem to be good, but didn't seem like the other guy really fit in. I think overall though, I think it was a really fun match. I think it would probably be my second favorite of the night. It was just good back and forth, and it kind of looked good. You know, everybody looked decent. Obviously, Gallus got the win. They kind of needed to. They've been trading off, which is kind of at least good that some of the ID talent and other people are getting some wins that are like more evolve people and not NXT like lower NXT card people. So I did like that they at least, all looked pretty good. And like I said, I think Cappuccino Jones, Cartwheel looked good, and Gallus looked pretty solid. So 5 out of the 6 looked pretty decent. So I think that was pretty good. I put it up in the A. Then we had again another just I don't know why they have just always two NXT people. This one wasn't as bad, but it was Ori Mesa versus Javier Bernard. Um, I think it had some pretty good spots. There were some pretty nice things in it that both guys kind of had a good show of offense. I don't think it was anything like particularly like right home about. I definitely think the six-man tag was better and probably the best men's match of the night. So like it just kind of felt like this fell short. Like they do have a better skill set than I think some of the other people that you see, but like it just doesn't always translate to being like a good match because of like the environment that it is, and like they both obviously want to look good because they're trying to make it on NXT and they've been on NXT before, but they just don't really have it like when it's just against each other. There's no like new stuff because it's like you kind of know these people are a little bit more established, and I feel like there's like a hunger that you don't see in the rest of the Evolve roster that's not been on NXT. The people that haven't been on NXT, they just feel like they just have this ability to go out there and like do something a little bit more than the people that are just constantly on NXT. But I mean, it makes sense to a certain extent. They're fighting for obviously trying to be signed by WWE, and they're fighting to make sure they show off right now so they get independent work. So I think that's kind of what happens. I'll put this match in B. I thought it was solid. I really feel like it should have been like the opening match and put the squash match second, and then the six-man tag. I think it would have felt a little bit better, but it felt kind of, I don't know, not as great as everything else. Then we finish off the show with the Fatal Four Way between Chantel Monroe, Callie Armstrong, Kendall Gray, and Brindley Reese. Now, Callie Gray or Kendall Gray and Brindley Reese have been on somewhat of the NXT stuff. They are like the prime example of like they've had a little bit of like show up there, but not enough. And I think this is like perfect for them. They're just enough been on NXT that people know their names, and that they're obviously have some type of rapport with some of the fans. I think they did great. I think Chantel Moreau has been solid since she started. I kind of hate that she ate the pin here. And Callie Armstrong looks like an absolute beast, which they've been building up pretty nicely. And I think she's doing good. I feel like the only thing with her is that she doesn't really have much of a gimmick to a certain extent. She's just there being like tough, and that's fine, but that only gets you so far when everybody else is trying to make a brand around their character. You obviously got like Chantel Moreau, which is like the debutante. And you got Kendall Gray, which I'm not really sure exactly what Kendall Gray is going for. It's like she's kind of like the moody one to well, not Kendall, Kaylee Bright's like over personality or like over the top, and then Brindley Reese has like the whole like fitness thing, which is it's still better than nothing. But I feel like overall these are like the top four women so far. I really wanted like Zeta still to be up that high, but they just haven't really pushed her. But these definitely feel like the top four, and we could definitely see a rematch later for like the title. I thought the match itself was really good. There was a really lot of good spots, a lot of good just back and forth. This was a really good main event, and this is like a match like there's very few matches that I've seen so far where I could be like, this doesn't belong here, but this is the cornerstone match out of probably all 7 episodes. Is this match should have been on NXT. I think the only thing else that was close to that was the original 6-man tag team from episode 1, the main event. I felt that match could have definitely possibly made it on NXT, but I think this one definitely is an NXT match that should have been on there, and some of these people should maybe get a kind of a second look. Obviously, I think being on Evolve, it's going to be good for all four of these women, and like just keep showing it. Callie Armstrong has been a beast. She feels like she needs to be there every other episode. She needs to be on it because she needs to be pushed. And I feel like any of these other 3 women should automatically still get as many matches as humanly possible too. So I'll put it up in S tier. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was just really, really good. Was it the most technically sound masterpiece? No, but for what I'm rating it as an Evolve and as an Evolve episode as general, it was one of the best matches. I definitely think it's on par to the 6-man tag match that I said before. Like I think those two are the best 2 matches that we've seen. Overall, I'd probably put the show around an A. It was really enjoyable. The matches that even if I didn't enjoy them as much, they still felt like good to be on the show. I definitely think that the two like the 6-man tag match and the fatal 4-way definitely made the show a lot better. And I really feel like they should have just done something a little bit different. They had a bunch of promos with each woman, which was fine, but like I feel like they took that time away from that first match. And I just think like they're trying to set up like Harlem Lewis versus Kiana Carver, but why squash Thrill London again? I just really don't understand that. But yeah, this has been Japan. If you guys like these Evolve reviews or whatever, totally tell me in the comments. I've been enjoying making them. I'm thinking about maybe around next episode or maybe a little bit later. I want to rate all of the Evolve roster, but I wanted to wait a little bit longer. Like I just don't want to jump it too soon because we haven't seen everybody like twice. I kind of want to see a couple of the other people again. But next week's show seems to be nothing too crazy, but I guess we'll see because you never know what a week can do. But yeah, this has been Japan. Bye, guys.